Hey guys, Canon Teague with Teague Tractor. Today we're going to talk about the Maverick HD and the standard Maverick from Bad Boy Mowers. We'll talk about what's different between the two. All right, to start the video off, we're going to talk about what is the same on these two models. So your frame, your deck, all of the main frame components are going to be the same. So you still have 7-gauge fabricated deck on both. They're still the exact same depth of deck. You're also going to have the front suspension as well as the independent rear suspension on both of these. So like I said, the frame, the deck, the suspension, they're both going to have the same roll bar. All of that is the same. That's what you're going to get on both of these in terms of similarities. All right, now let's talk about what makes the Maverick HD an upgrade over the standard Maverick. Nothing wrong with your standard Maverick. It's a very popular model. We've already talked about what's similar: independent rear suspension, front suspension, very heavy duty deck and frame. Definitely a popular model. Question we get a lot of the times: what separates the two? So here's where we get different. Difference number one is going to be the different seats. So if you look over here on the Maverick, we have just a standard high back seat with armrest, be more similar to what you see on like the ZT Elite. So nothing wrong with that seat. It's definitely comfortable. It does adjust. But when we get into the Maverick HD, you're going to see a suspension seat, a dial adjust seat. So this is what you're going to see on the Rebel, the Rogue, and the Renegade from Bad Boy Mowers. You could put this seat on the Maverick. We do see some people do that. But this is going to come standard with the Maverick. So that is difference number one. All right, now the second difference between the two: on your Maverick, you're going to have the standard 6.5-gallon fuel tank. So it's a single fuel tank over here on the left-hand side as you're sitting on it. On the Maverick HD, you're going to double your fuel capacity. So you're going to add a second tank, go from 6.5 to 13-gallon in fuel capacity. So a lot more longevity mowing. That's why you will see the acre rating a little bit different between the two. Few other differences with the engine, which we'll talk about, but the main difference is longer fuel capacity or more fuel capacity to allow you to mow for a longer period of time. So that is difference number two, is extended fuel capacity. All right, so difference number three are going to be engine options. So your Maverick is going to come not necessarily residential grade engines. They're what we consider a mid grade or a mid duty. So you're going to have your Kawasaki FS series of engines, the Briggs CXI, and your Kohler Confidant. So it's not going to be necessarily residential. It's not quite commercial. It sits right in the middle. On your Maverick HD, you're going to get the FX series from Kawasaki, which is their bona fide commercial engine. You're going to get some Vanguard options from Briggs, another really good commercial option that people like. And you're also going to get some of the Kohler EFI engine options, fuel injected. So if you want fuel injected, Kohler and the Vanguard. If you're wanting the FX Kawasaki, that is a carbureted engine, but it is going to be commercial. So that's difference number three: extended engine options, more engine options, and they're commercial grade. All right, so difference number four is going to be transmission size. So your standard Maverick is going to come with a Hydro Gear 3200. That is a commercial grade transmission. So you've got the Hydro Gear 3100, which you'll see on the ZT Elite. That's their entry level commercial transmission. The 3200 is just one step above that. So great Hydro Gear model on the transmission for that. When we get into the HD, this is Bad Boy's entry-level commercial sit-down zero turn. So this one's going to have the Hydro Gear 3400. So we're definitely up into those models of Hydro Gear transmissions. The 3400 is probably the most widely used industry-wide, regardless of brand. What we see the most of in commercial mowers. We do see some bigger stuff as we get up in size, but the 3400 is probably the most widely used. It's a great transmission. No issues there. It has a great track record. So that is another difference between the two, is going to be going up in transmission size when we get into the HD with the Hydro Gear 3400. All right, so number five is going to be our deck sizes. So not a huge jump in deck sizes or a bunch of additions, but the Maverick HD does add a 42-inch deck option. So for some commercial guys that need a bona fide commercial unit, but they need it in a smaller deck with a 42-inch deck, that is going to come as an option on the HD. Your Maverick's going to be a 48, a 54, and a 60. The Maverick HD will be a 42, 48, 54, and a 60. with those different engine options. So that's number 5 is going to be an addition of a 42-inch deck in the lineup for the Maverick HD. All right, so last thing we're going to talk about is the pricing between the two. Now, again, these prices are going to vary dealer to dealer, so check with your local dealer, see what they're selling them for. The prices I'm going to list here are going to be the cash discount prices. So these will be the lowest prices across the dealer network that you're going to find in a current year model. So the Maverick is going to start at $6,429, and the Maverick HD is going to start at $7,999. So right at $8,000. So really, the end user, it's looking between the differences, the engine options, the nicer seat, bigger transmission. So for that little bit of jump in price, is it worth it for the extra dollars to get these features? If it's not, stay at the Maverick. It's going to be a great model for you. There's no necessarily, if you're staying within its acre rating, there's no reason necessarily to go up to the HD. They're both going to do pretty much the same job within reason. So it's just up to the end user. Is it worth the extra $800 to $1,000 to get into the Maverick HD and get these commercial features? So both are really hot sellers for us. The Maverick HD is one of our number one sellers for Bad Boy. You're getting into a commercial grade mower under $10,000, which is really hard to do in today's market. So that's why we sell a ton of these. The Maverick is still a very, very capable machine. So check with your local dealer on pricing. That's just where we start them at. Thanks for watching.